Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Holliday and this is my Truman Elementary School case study for AP 858, Module 15. First off, a little bit about what I know with this case study. Truman houses pre-K to 8. It's 15% free and reduced lunch, 5% of student population speak primary language other than English. There's some big concerns over reading achievement as students continue to decline as they get older. The PTO is wanting answers of what the principal has in mind to correct this. The reading supervisor was asked to visit classrooms to provide another set of eyes and ears as to what's going on in the classroom and provide some feedback. And there's a grant opportunity for K through 4 that the principal is considering applying for. A few things about what I need to know. I'm curious what reading program has been done in the past. Why are teachers not providing instruction in smaller group settings? So the reading supervisor had found that a lot of teaching was being done in whole group, which drives then that question. The next one there, does the grant align vertically for 5th through 8th grade? As I look at the grant K to 4, what's it look like in order to transition to 5th through 8th? I don't think it necessarily has to be the same program, but I think that we want it to align well. I'd like to see testing results organized by teacher. I am curious with the current situation, people teaching mainly large group, what exactly does that look like for teachers? Are some teachers having some success with this? What professional development has been offered for teaching reading? And that last question, I'm going to move this up a little bit. Why is the PTO wanting answers now? What about previous years that they've seen? I know it's just year 3, but I just am curious as to why they have a piqued interest. So that leads me to what's the problem, and I got it narrowed down to 3 things. Student scores are low in reading and they need to improve. The PTO is wanting answers as to how this is going to get corrected, these low scores. And Truman could qualify for a grant. Is it worth the time and effort to get the grant? We want it to make sure that it aligns well vertically for us and that it's the best option for our school. My proposed plan of action, so I would start with meeting with the reading supervisor to discuss what they had discovered and also to discuss the grant with them. I think it would be insightful to gain some input from them and see any suggestions that they have. I think discussing preparation for a staff meeting to share results of observations would be beneficial. So if the reading supervisor and I as the admin could come up with something to be able to share what we've found with staff, I think it would be very eye-opening for them. And I think also discussing some PD opportunities with this reading supervisor would be helpful as well. Also, then at the staff meeting, I'm going to move this up. At staff meeting, I would share results like I had mentioned. I'd talk about with the reading supervisor. I'd give time for the grade level teams to look at some of the current curriculum standards as they are out of date and then share updated ones with them. I'd like them to begin looking at some some of the new verbiage and starting to think about how they're going to implement these updated curriculum standards in their classrooms. Then I'd set a new goal of reading being longer than an hour and set a time frame for staff to begin implementing this, such as by this date we will all be devoting more than 1 hour of time to reading. I would then plan to meet with the PTO and share about the changes our school is making. I think being up front with them and honest will help gain their support. Then it will also create accountability too. Looking at the data by teachers for thriving teachers in the current situations would be helpful. I specifically was thinking being able to create a building leadership team would be helpful to just help with communication and try to use everyone's time wisely. Sometimes having a team member share information can be more helpful than it being passed down from an admin. I think teachers that are thriving would be ideal candidates to be placed on the building leadership team, perhaps. Strategies to implement the plan. So I'd make sure that I include staff in looking at the curriculum standards. I think this creates some accountability for them and helps create some buy-in. I think the BLT team being created, if it's not already, will help with efficiency and again creates more buy-in from teachers. The chance to give the teams more plan time to share challenges and legitimately look at data will be helpful for them making decisions moving forward in instruction. The creating of new schedules would be helpful for creating that longer block time of reading. And then also grant planning, if the grant provides smooth transition to 5th and 8th grade. I know there was some specific criteria outlined within the grant, so just to help get prepared for that, that would be helpful. Resolving the issues, thinking about what is best for students, creating more reading time in the schedule to focus in on that weakness is one of the ways that I'm making decisions that's best for students. Creating more professional development given to aid in teaching reading will be helpful for the staff and helpful for the students because they'll be getting more quality instruction. Updating the curriculum standards helps ensure students are being prepared for life after school. And then team plan time allows for greater understanding of the curriculum, and it also gives them chances to learn from one another. Education is very much a profession where we learn from one another and better ourselves from observing each other. Resolving the problem, so reading scores are being addressed by the curriculum standards being updated, lengthening the reading class. There's going to be more individualized instruction as opposed to the whole group instruction, and more plan time for grade level teams will be helpful in allowing them time to communicate. The PTO concerns that I mentioned at the beginning, by sharing plans, it's going to create accountability for our school to make sure we're doing what we're doing and that it just doesn't get swept under the rug and it be something that we say we're going to do. Then the grant opportunity, the best decision will be made based upon the vertical alignment with older grades. Again, that grant sounds pretty incredible, but we want to just make sure that is a smooth transition into 5th through 8th grade. Debriefing the problem. So what was I thinking, feeling, and valuing as I responded to the problem? I was thinking about my current school's reading program. We utilize guided reading in the younger grades for sure, and I know that we've been very pleased with that. It helps challenge students where they're at, and I think that's helpful for creating opportunities for students who need some extension, and also meeting the needs of students who aren't quite at that same level. As far as feelings, I was feeling very motivated to create change as I looked at this. I felt discouraged, and I legitimately want to create positive change for these kids and do what's best for them. So yeah, feeling motivated, and then I'm valuing the students. I know that they deserve better, and as staff we have to be better in our instruction. What issues are still unresolved or open to further investigation? So the grant decision, like I said, if the grant can transition smoothly to 5th through 8th grade, or yeah, just help our reading program overall, I think the grant decision sounds pretty great, but I just want to again make sure that it aligns well with our 5th through 8th grade before making that decision. Also, we're already making some big changes, so if it doesn't flow well with 5th through 8th grade, then there's no sense in adding more to our plates, as some staff are going to have to be changing things drastically from whole group instruction to some of that more individualized instruction. Data for specific teachers. If there's teachers that are having success with what we're doing now, I want to know about it, because they're people that I probably want to extend invitations to join the building leadership team. So yeah, exploring the data for their scores for their students, and then professional development opportunities, what's out there that we can bring in that will be most beneficial for staff. Acting as an agent for continuous improvement, how do I engage families and community in beneficial ways? I say I am interacting positively with PTO by being upfront with them about where we're headed as a school. I think showing concern with reading achievement and looking to improve our reading program helps show support and the importance of reading to families. I think professional development for teachers should create positive results in students, and parents who see that improvement will have more trust in our school. How did I use data to communicate with community? I think sharing about the increase in time spent in reading class with the PTL will be something that's helpful. I think describing the benefits of more individualized instruction will be helpful for the community, as well as they see that we are changing from whole group instruction to individualized, and then explain the importance of quality professional development opportunities for staff and how that will affect their students. Those three things all are going to help improve our communication with community. How do I use knowledge of policies, laws, and regulations to bring about positive change? I'd say updating the curriculum standards would fall under that realm, as I would need to ensure that I am understanding all of the curriculum standards. Creating more time in the schedule for reading would fall under the policies, and then researching different curriculum resources also could fall under different regulations or policies within our school. How do I establish ongoing dialogue with decision makers? I'd say meeting with the reading supervisor would help us be able to tackle things together. Having a staff meeting to communicate with teachers what our goals are moving forward, and then creation of a BLT team will help with giving us a direction to go, and provide some more buy-in and input from the teachers in making decisions for our school. I think that wraps up the case study. Thanks so much for watching, and looking forward to seeing what you guys have to wrap up this semester. So Thanks for watching.